Hey everyone, I built this little app which is to help data analysts ask better questions with the data. Here's why this app was built. Let's say you're at day two on a new job and you want to understand, somebody in the company would have just reached out to you and told you like, hey, can you try to find some patterns or something? Maybe it could be your new manager, right? And they wouldn't have given you enough context. They just say like, get jiggy with it, right? Just play around with it, see what you can find, see any patterns. And this maybe you could be working in a startup or something, or you could be working in a big company. They just like tell you to play around with the data, for that matter. And there's like no context there. And the idea is like, if you don't have enough context, how do you get value out of something, right? You don't know what questions to ask. Ideally, this doesn't happen, but like let's say you initially join when in a company, you don't know anything, right, about the way things work, and you're trying to figure out everything at that point. So what you want to do at that point is just do the best you can. So the idea here specifically is that this app will take a CSV file. It will pick 5 to 8 columns and it will give you like a brief summary of like a document that you can use that will help you understand the data, ask better questions with it, tell you about the discrepancies that it can see and stuff. So here's how this app works. So what you can see in this app is like there is on the left side, this is a Python Streamlit based app. So on the left side, we have an area to specify API key and the model, and this can be GPT-4. I use GPT-4 or Mini, and you can use GPT-5 for that matter if you want. This is like a simple cars data set. What I do is just I can just select which files I want here, right? Like, and I selected a CSV file that I had on hand. So just found something, and this data set has, I think, about maybe 15 to 20 columns, right? So just about like cars data set, make, model, and how many days it's been on market. So it's like about car selling, right? Selling your car. It's about a car dealership, essentially, what kind of cars it has and stuff. So what happens is, let's just say I'm going to remove everything, right? And what you can do here is like you need to select an objective if you want to. If you look at this data set, whether it's new or not, you can use that as a target variable if you want, or it could be how many days it's on market, when it's going to be sold. You can predict that. That could be one accident. That could be one use case, whether this car has an accident or not. You can try to predict that too. Ideally, some use case would be when this car will be sold, or is the car going to be new or not. That could be something you can try as a variable, as a question to ask. But here's what it is, right? This, you upload the data set, it will do the preview for you. You have to specify the objective. The 5 to 8 focus columns it picks by itself. You don't have to do it, but you can obviously change what you want to focus on using this button, right? So there's more options here. If I click on it, like you can see that you can choose. And now the next thing is, if you want to generate like a one-page brief about the data set, what the data set is like. So this is what you'll see. What is a brief? In this case, I chose anomaly because I wanted to see what kind of anomalies are there. It could be objective, focus columns. These are focus columns which were selected earlier, and it comes up with 10 questions why. Focus columns is also something that it came up with by itself, the AI tool. So you didn't have to do anything there. You just have to upload the data set. That's it. But if you want to specifically focus and answer some specific questions, for that, what you would use is you would need to specify the objective, what you are trying to achieve. Let's say in this case, maybe you want to see which car is going to be sold first based on days in market or something like that, right? So that could be one use case. So it comes up with these 10 questions and tells you why these questions are important. What is the distribution of listing ID across key segments? And it gets like why range and variance shape the decision scope. Okay, interesting. You can also tell the AI if you want how to make the language easier. But any outliers in the column one worth investigating. And column one could be something else also. There's something it came up with. So I just went with the default. Or it could be like any outliers in mileage that worth investigating. Does listing ID differ? I don't know, significantly by color? I don't think so. But like I would say that you should give that context a little bit. It's smart, but I think at some point you do have to have that human intervention because it comes back to the question, right? Will AI replace data analysts? No, it will not. I don't think so because data analysts still need to get that input. You can use AI as a tool to make your life better as an analyst, but you still have to give that input. This is, I mean, I'm using GPT-4 or maybe GPT-5 has a little bit more smartness as compared to GPT-4o. So this would be something that you can try. So anyways, these are the questions it has, and questions are irrelevant at this point. I just wanted to show you it comes up with questions essentially, and it gives a why it can come up with a question. So this is something it all does by itself. And you click on the code in the blog post and you'll be able to see that what's happening there, right? Um, so it will give you some data health notes, maybe some missing values or something, and say that possible leakage is new may encode the outcome. So what it's saying is you don't want to use it in your training variable, in your training data set, because is new is like your target, right? If you use it in the training and if you're trying to predict is new or something that may not help what you're trying to do. So maybe just watch out for that, right? You're not predicting what you're giving in. And that's obviously common sense. Another interesting fuel consumption is 16.2% missing data. So, decide to impute or drop or investigate whatever you want to do. Has accidents is 46.4% missing. So that could be something you want to look at. Quick checks to run today, check distribution outliers for whatever column that is. Instead of listing ID, could be something else. Listing ID just looks like a key. So it's not as relevant to me, but of course, up to you. Risk and next decisions. If results show strong segment contrast, reallocate efforts to high lift segments. So it will tell you like what are the risks and what are the next decisions you should take. If leakage persists, then fix the data and rerun before concluding anything. And if you're not seeing any signal, then objective needs to be tightened. So obviously make sure you're doing an objective there. The objective can be specified in this section. In this case, an example is reduce 30-day change for monthly plan users. That's just a general objective I've given. But obviously, it depends on the data set that you feed it. So if no clear signal, then tighten the objective or adjust the focus column. So that is something it comes up with as a next decision. This is how the markdown comes through, right? Like you can see the same questions are being generated, question and why. So it will give you in this format. So you can download the markdown, you can download the JSON, both however you want. And let's just say you want to download this. Give me an option of where I want to download this. Gives an option as brief, right? So you can download that. It gives us a markdown file. Then possible leakage, and I see it's running as well. There's missingness. This is the paste ready. So what those are all what you see with the data. And paste ready AI prompt is what we give it and how that's why it knows what you want to do. So you can change this AI prompt obviously. It could be inputs objective one line, you state your objective here, focus columns and optional data summary. And it looks like those focus columns are 1 to 8 like sequential. So could be something that you can change obviously. Optional data summary per column type, person missing. So that's something as a data summary you get. Context, segments, time window constraints. So tasks, write 10 concise questions aimed at the objective, add a one line why. It matters to each. This is the prompt you need to use to get the result that you just saw, right? And obviously you can change this prompt, but this is what I wrote. I propose 3 to 6 quick checks to run today, counts median, and then list 3 to 5 risks and next decisions. What we'll do if the results are X versus Y. And output JSON with keys and Markdown brief. So that's how you get the JSON and Markdown to download. Style plain human, no charts or code unless asked. So that I didn't ask for any code or charts. Flag leakage explicitly. If there's any leakage, just mention which one it is. And then if optional data summary is missing, infer lightly. And keep the brief about 350 to 500 words because you want like a 1 page brief, right? You can look at quickly. And I've just added this. So that's basically the prompt, and then this is just like a little privacy message. But yeah, this is just the there's obviously multiple ways to do this. There's opportunity quick wins also which you can do. Yeah, feel free to play around with that, but this is essentially the app to ask better questions with your data.